It is July 1518. The streets of Strasbourg, a quiet town in the Holy Roman Empire, are already sizzling under the summer heat. Merchants open their wooden stalls. Bakers pull bread from stone ovens. Priests walk slowly toward the cathedral. And then, a woman steps into the middle of the street. Her name is Frau Trophäa. She looks ordinary. Pale, tired, barefoot. Without a word, she begins to dance. At first, people assume she's joking, a strange celebration. Perhaps she drank too much wine. But minutes pass, then hours, and she doesn't stop. Her feet bleed. She gasps for breath, yet her body continues to move, as if controlled by something unseen. By the next morning, she is still dancing. Within days, more begin to join her. 1 man, then 3, then 24. They dance with blank expressions, drenched in sweat, collapsing from exhaustion, only to rise again and keep dancing as though some invisible force has taken control of their limbs. Local authorities are stunned. This is not a festival. These people are suffering. But instead of stopping them, the city council believes the only way to cure them is to let them dance it out. They construct a stage, bring in musicians, and even hire professional dancers to keep the rhythm going. It becomes a public spectacle. Crowds gather. The town buzzes with fear and fascination. By the end of July, over 100 people are dancing uncontrollably in the streets of Strasbourg. And then, people begin to die. From heat stroke, from heart attacks, from pure exhaustion. Witnesses describe men and women collapsing to the ground like puppets whose strings have suddenly been cut, never rising again. Doctors are called in. They don't understand. The church declares the town is being punished for its sins. Others whisper of demonic possession, curses, and witchcraft. But there is no explanation, and the dancing continues. Then, just as suddenly as it began, it stops. In early September, after taking hundreds of lives, the strange affliction slowly fades. One by one, the surviving dancers fall still. They are taken to a small shrine in the mountains, dedicated to Saint Vitus, the patron saint of dancing, and are forced to walk barefoot around the altar. And gradually, the madness leaves them. The city goes quiet again, but the mystery remains. What happened in Strasbourg? Modern scholars have proposed many theories. Ergot poisoning, a toxic fungus on rye bread that can cause hallucinations and muscle spasms. But ergot also causes violent convulsions, not rhythmic, coordinated dancing. Mass hysteria, a form of psychogenic illness triggered by stress. In 1518, Strasbourg was ravaged by famine, disease, and political tension. Perhaps the people literally broke, their minds escaping into trance-like movement as a coping mechanism. Religious trance. Locals believed Saint Vitus could both curse and cure through uncontrollable dancing. The fear of being cursed may have created a self-fulfilling prophecy, spreading like a psychological virus. But none of these theories fully explain why the dancing was so organized. Why professional musicians actually made it worse, and why the victims seemed completely unable to stop, even when facing death. Even more disturbing, the Strasbourg outbreak of 1518 is not the only one. There are dozens of reports from medieval Europe of people dancing uncontrollably in large groups, sometimes hundreds at a time, before collapsing dead. One thing is clear. This was not a festival, not a celebration. It was an unfolding nightmare, performed in broad daylight. Today, historians call it the Dancing Plague, but in Strasbourg, older residents still whisper another name: the Dance of Death. And over 500 years later, no one truly knows why it began, why it stopped, or whether something like it could happen again. If you think history is always rational, think again.